Trump is going to jail, or he very much could in the very near future. Trump, as we've reported here on this very real, very serious reporting show, has been in a lot of hot water when it comes to the feds and specifically the FBI. Trump has been in a near 2-year-long battle with the FBI to get back their documents that he stole from the White House. Now, for quite a long time, they've been going back and forth, and there've been duplicitousness, and there's been weird stuff going on. And finally, the FBI raided his home business in Mar-a-Lago, took the boxes back, and we're going to be talking about all of that because it's quite curious what happened. But things are not looking good for Trump. And I want to do like a tiny retrospective for some of the things that we missed, all the way up from the last video that we made to today, which everything I'm going to show you gets progressively worse. And you'll see that. First, when the raid happened, when they executed the search warrant on Trump's Mar-a-Lago, his lawyers came out swinging hard with, nobody knew this could happen. Everything's wrong here. And then even his lawyer came on to Real America's Voice to say this.
I don't think that there was actually anything there that's worthwhile. We'll see what they come up with. You know, if they did, it'll be interesting, especially since they precluded me from actually watching what they did. But at this point, I don't necessarily think that they would even go to the extent of trying to plant information. I think they just make stuff up and, you know, come up with whatever they want. And
so before, there were people saying that they were going to plant things. And now they're saying, no, they're not going to plant things. They're actually just going to make things up because they don't need to plant anything because they're so evil that they know that they can throw Trump in the electric chair without even providing any real evidence. Is she the lawyer? No shot. Yes, this is unironically one of Trump's lawyers. Yes, it is. Christina Bobb. Yes, this is one of a couple of Trump's lawyers. There's another one, Alina Habba, who we'll probably hear from if I remember correctly. But yes, that's one of his many lawyers that he has. How did she pass the bar? It's Florida. It's Florida. I think that's the only thing I can really say there. Also, something that's really curious is that now they're saying that they didn't really find anything worthwhile when the raid originally happened. And then the lawyers claimed that there was no classified material at Mar-a-Lago and a signed letter to the Justice Department. So there was a long time in between Trump leaving the White House and this search warrant being executed. 1.5 years. They said this was after they already gave information and they gave some documents to the FBI because the Justice Department was like, yo, we're missing documents. We know you have them. Give them back. They gave them some documents, and then they wrote in a letter, signed, dotted, Donald Trump saw it and said, there's nothing more here. There's nothing here. I promise you there's nothing here. He had 300 more documents just sitting in his house. 300 more. Just around. Just laying around. For why? We haven't figured that out yet. It's been told, it's been said, and I'm not sure if this has been verified yet, but there have been people who have said that Donald Trump told to his lawyers, go out and get my documents back. Okay? Go and get my documents back. So I'm not sure why. I have one theory for why he took the documents. I think, and this is just because I think Trump is stupid and a child, I think that he didn't want to feel like he wasn't the president anymore. So he took classified documents specifically so he could have the people come in and then like give him the classified document or something, or have it like in his desk when he opens it to go get like another like piece of candy or something so he can feel like he's still president. So I think that's why he did it. That's just my opinion, and that's what I think, just because I think he's a child. But there could be any reason for why he had them, and none of the reasons are good. Another one of his lawyers was talking to Fox News, and they had this to say.
Stuff that they took, pretty much everything at the club. I'm surprised he still has silverware there. What was his reaction?
Nothing. He's like, oh, it's a Monday, Alina. It's a Monday in Trump world. Honestly, nothing. He was confused as to why they were there. He had just seen them in June. They had said everything's fine, but could you put another lock on it? We'll be good. You know what, Jesse, in my opinion, the Jan 6th ratings, the show of Jan 6 hasn't been going so well. They needed a little drama, so they throw this out there.
So
this is Elena Haba, another one of Trump's lawyers, come in to just say, yo, what? Nothing was happening. Everybody knew that this was happening, right? And remember how that one lawyer literally just said a moment ago that she wasn't allowed in, which would make you think that Trump and his team had no clue what was going on when the FBI was in his Mar-a-Lago home. Here's this lawyer speaking again on the same issue.
Much was made about the safe, the safe cracker and so forth. But do we know, was there anything in the safe? Was it much ado about nothing with the safe? Did anyone even know how to open the safe? What do we know about it?
Well, I love this story because I actually couldn't accompany them, and so I couldn't see it. Yeah. I couldn't see what they were opening. So we know about the story because of the CCTV, then the cameras were on, and so those in New York watching were aware. So I have to take their word for it. I know the president put the story out.
So that's really curious, right? So they're saying that she that's a TOS. She said the C word. Whoa, hang on, Twitch, calm down. Wait, listen, I promise. Nothing duplicitous is going on, I promise. So originally it was, I have no clue what was going on. We have no clue what was going on in Mar-a-Lago. And then it went from, we were in the dark, they could have planted evidence, to we were not in the dark and we were watching the FBI's every single move while Trump was in New York. And just so you know, Trump wasn't in Florida, if you remember. Trump wasn't in Florida when this search warrant was executed. He was actually in New York pleading the fifth to every single question when asked about how he's been inflating and lying to the state about the prices of his properties so he gets some free money from taxes and he's not taxed as much as he would want to be. So that was going on. That was very weird. She also went on to say that to make sure to clarify that it was indeed Trump and his family. Wait a second. Yeah, that it was Trump and his family who were listening.
It's kind of funny. I think the folks in New York, President Trump and his family, probably had a better view than I did because they had the CCTV that they were able to watch. I was stuck in the parking lot there to collect paper and answer questions, but they were actually able to see the whole thing. So they actually have a better idea of what took place inside.
So remember when Donald Trump was saying that they planted evidence? How do you know that you were watching them? All of their he has all of the information. He has every single movement that the FBI made inside of Mar-a-Lago, but now he's saying that they planted evidence while he was watching the entire time? That's very curious. Now, I want to let you all know, I'm not sure how many of you know about the timeline that went from, he left the White House to the execution. And I think some of you, even if you know Trump's in the wrong, you may not know to what extent the DOJ went to not raid Trump's Mar-a-Lago. They wanted to not raid him a lot. They were begging, they were pleading with Trump not to make them raid him, but he still wouldn't give up what he was doing. And so they had to finally do it. And let me tell you, if I stole 20 boxes, 300 documents of top secret information from the United States, they would not be haggling with me to try to get it back, okay? I'd be like somewhere being tortured to death in Guantanamo Bay, all right? That's what would happen to me. That's what happened to you, okay? That's what would happen to even probably a politician, from a senator to a House Intelligence Committee person, like all of them. Yeah, you'd be black bagged and put in a black site in a moment. You'd be in jail for years, decades even, if this happened to you, bro. Absolutely in no way, shape, or form. So I want to show you a little timeline before we move on to dissuade anybody's and if you know anybody who's concerned about how the FBI may have gone too far here, just take a look at this. Trump departs the White House and Joe Biden is sworn in January 20th. The archives email Trump's lawyers on May 2021, notifying them that 24 boxes of original records were not turned over in December. And then moving all the way from May to December, Trump's representatives tell the archives that they had located some records, according to a statement. And then moving from December to January, the archives received 15 boxes of presidential records. The nonpartisan Presidential Records Agency said it identified items marked as classified national security information up to top-level secret, including sensitive compartmentalized information and special access program materials. If you know the SCI, you'll hear this a lot if you like look at the things that are going on. You'll hear people say SCI, SCI, SCI. This is the top secret shit that we have. Okay, this is like spies that are working against Russia to undermine their invasion of Ukraine. Okay, this is like top level officials that we talk to know what's going on inside the CCP when it pertains to what they want to do with Taiwan. Okay, this is like our spy programs. This is like the location of nuclear submarines. This is like the names and locations of and like phone numbers of people who hold like the most secret information in the Western world pertaining to intelligence. All of this type of shit that he just had laying around in his home in Mar-a-Lago. Very wild stuff. Okay, this is unknown. This not only has implications for like Trump or the FBI, this has implications possibly for the planet if something went wrong. And we're going to be talking about that in the future here in just a moment. Anyways, the archives issue a public statement saying that it isn't searching for more Trump records. One day, the Washington Post reported that the boxes were retrieved from Florida. So this is when the archives sent people to go to Florida to actually be like, yo, we know that you're still holding out something, okay, partner? What's going on? House of Representatives Oversight Committee announces an investigation into Trump's handling of documents. New York Times reports that a staffer periodically found clumps of documents clogged in the White House toilets. So it's also alleged that Trump would take private information, take sensitive, top secret information, and then try to flush it down the toilet for God knows why. But that's what we're working on right now. And it's very curious. And people are trying to figure out why he would have wanted to do that at all. And nobody's gotten a straight answer from him yet. National Archives tells Congress that Trump took classified documents. Sources on February, moving from February to April, sources confirm to Reuters that the Justice Department was investigating Trump's removal of documents from the White House. All the way to May, acting U.S. Archivist Deborah Steidel Wall, what a cool name, responds to Kokorin rejecting Trump's requested delay and refusal of his protective claim of privilege. So he was using his claim of privilege for a long time, telling them that he doesn't need to give any documents back because they're actually his. It's executive privilege. Don't worry about it. It's all mine. It's all declassified. And they weren't buying it at all because things were still missing. Jay Bratt, chief of counterintelligence and export control of the U.S. Justice Department, said Trump's custodian of records appears before the federal grand jury in Washington. This is May 11th. Tuesday's filing showed. And then on June 3rd, Trump's representatives, whose names is redacted in the Justice Department filing, assert that a diligent search was conducted at Mar-a-Lago for documents that were removed from the White House and that any and all responsive documents accompany this certification. So this is when they told the DOJ that there are no more documents left in Mar-a-Lago. And obviously we know that that was a lie. He actually had 300 that were laying around that the DOJ did not have yet. And federal agents execute a search warrant on Trump's house. And that's when they find all of this stuff that's happening. 2 weeks after the search, Trump separately asked the U.S. District Court for a special master to review the documents. So they keep talking about a special master. What a special master does review things before it actually goes to trial. A special master won't be doing anything for Trump. There's no reason to, it's no reason to care or worry about a special master at all in the situation whatsoever. Justice Department releases a heavily redacted affidavit, a sworn statement outlining the evidence giving law enforcement officials probable cause to ask a judge for a search warrant. And this is also where, in August 26th, this is where Trump doxed the FBI agents that conducted that search warrant on his house. So they gave, just so you look here, okay, they gave him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to give the shit back. He decided not to. He purposefully lied to the DOJ and said, we have no more things here, and hopefully we're going to get them off of his ass, but it didn't work out. And the curious thing is that after this happened, is that Trump denies a report that FBI sought nuclear documents during the Mar-a-Lago search. We talked about this before, and as far as I know, this hasn't been independently verified yet. This is like really high level, not okay stuff. If there were nuclear documents, so I would imagine that they wouldn't talk about them yet. They haven't talked about the nature of any of the documents that have been taken from Trump, from all the way up to like the most classified down to like the least classified things and like non-classified things that they found in the raid. So they haven't spoken about any of that yet. Will we know if he actually had nuclear documents there? I don't know. I can't tell you. But it has been said that he was hoarding information pertaining to other countries' nuclear arsenal, our neutral nuclear arsenal, where our nuclear arsenal submarines are, the condition of our nukes, things along those lines, right? Even possibly even nuclear codes, right? It's not like the nuclear codes would mean anything these days. Nuclear codes are changed like all the time. So, you know, it doesn't really matter on that front. But all of the other things matter a lot, okay? And the difficult part for Trump is that a lot of this is because of he's being investigated now for the Espionage Act, which is basically aiding and abetting America's enemies by taking private information and disclosing it to them for any reason whatsoever, because you want to, because you'll get money for it, for any reason you're doing this. Right now, they're looking to see if he did anything that could warrant them hitting him with an Espionage Act charge, which I highly doubt he'd escape. Okay, remember, he's dealing with the feds. All right, how many people do you know beat the feds? What do the feds have? What, like a 97% like conviction rate when they bring a charge against you? Like, it's over, dog. It's over. Give up. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. So this is not okay for him. This is really bad for him. FBI agents seized 11 sets of documents in all, including some marked as classified, TS, and SCI, shorthand for top secret, sensitive, compartmented information. So the thing is, top secret, sensitive, compartmented information. What this means, if you don't know, what this means basically is that even the people who are like top of the top, who have like top secret clearance, even they need special clearance to reach this stuff. And this is stuff that like random ass like White House interns were like trucking around. Okay, this is the type of stuff that he was just rolling around with. I don't know, just sitting in his desk. All right, this is stuff that even he had information that the top secret information people don't know exist in his office. This is not okay. If they bring charges, he is going to jail, and he deserves it. According to an inventory of the materials seized in the search, information categorized in the fashion that meant to be viewed only in a secure government facility. These are the type of documents that have like specific people tied to them. So it's like this document has a person that controls the document. They're with you when you open the document. They take it back and they have like an inventory of like all the documents. This is stuff that goes nowhere, that he literally just fucking yoinked from the White House. And also a really bad thing for Trump, which is also going to be a part of this inquiry, is that he has a lot of cases against him at the moment, especially the ones in New York, Manhattan, where they're bringing up charges for tax fraud, tax schemes that his business was like up to. And the person who was running, you know, Trump Industries or Trump whatever, his company, he's not doing well. You know how in the case against Matt Gaetz, how he has Greenberg who's like testifying against him in court at the moment. So Trump has his Greenberg, and that guy who was running Trump's, you know, property management was recently convicted for tax crimes and tax schemes related to the business and related to him lying to the government about the price of the properties that they owned to skim money from the government to save money on taxes, right? And the really bad thing for Trump is that this guy is nearing a plea deal agreement with the feds to help him incriminate Trump even further on the charges of the Espionage Act. So this guy was convicted, and to reduce his sentence, he's like, yeah, I'll tell you everything I know about Trump. I'll tell you everything I know. Don't put me in jail. And so now, not only has Alan Weisselberg, not only has he been looking to be a part of a plea agreement. He has accepted the plea agreement, and the plea agreement requires him to testify against the Trump organization in trial. And if he knows anything about what Trump was doing when it comes to the private information that he took, to anything along the lines of the properties, he's going to have to testify against them. This isn't good. Now, does he know anything about the documents that were taken? We don't know. But this isn't good for Trump when people in his very inner circles are starting to turn on him in a way that's not looking good. On top of that, if Trump was convicted, okay, if Trump actually gets hit with an Espionage Act charge and gets convicted, my man is looking down the barrel of 10 years in jail. The Fed could put Trump in jail for 10 years. My man won't live for the next 10 years. He will die in jail. Only 10? Yeah, only 10. And once again, remember, they could just not bring charges. It's possible that they just couldn't bring charges, that they won't. It's possible that he broke the law, but they won't bring charges against him. That's possible as well. So that's a thing. We just don't know yet. I don't want to like get your hopes up too much that he'll fucking die in jail if that's what you want. But I'm telling you that if things go the way they're looking to go, Trump can end up in federal prison sooner rather than later. I think it's 10 years per page. Maybe. The 10-year sentence is just solely with the respect to the alteration, destruction, or removal of government documents, some of which might be classified, some of which might not be. So yeah, that's what they have to say about all that. That portion of the Espionage Act for which each violation carries a maximum of a 10-year sentence penalty. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh, wait, each violation carries a maximum of 10 years. Oh no. Trump could be looking down the barrel of 3,000 years in jail. Trump, no! Infinite jail. Oh no, Trump, don't do it. 3,000 years. Oh my gosh, they're gonna put his ass in the ever jail. They're gonna put his ass in the fucking in the goddamn fucking Elden Ring ever jail. Holy shit, he's gonna be in there in the with the yeah, Trump Elden Ring DLC, the million-year dungeon. Good Lord. Sentence him to unlimited jail, Jack. No. Yeah, they're gonna banish his ass to the Shadow Realm. No, dude. They're gonna put his ass in cryostasis. No. Oh no. Yeah, this isn't good. That's bad. That part's really bad. And because things are getting so bad, remember at the very beginning how you heard a bunch of conservatives being like, this is horrible, this is terrible, I can't believe this. How can they be doing this? This is war. They're all quiet. All of them, as more details come out about what Trump actually had going on and what he was doing, all of them one by one just stop talking. Nobody wants to say anything anymore. They're not going against Trump, except for one person. We'll talk about them. But all of them are just sitting there, not saying a word, pretending nothing was happening. It's quite odd. It's quite weird that these people who are crazy outspoken about all of this now are not so loquacious. Not so talkative now, huh? Marjorie's still yelling, but Marjorie's stupid. But a lot of other people besides Marjorie have quieted up a lot on this issue. It's not looking good for them, okay? Trump has bitten off far more than he can chew when it comes to this issue. And what was released recently, and this is like very fresh, this as of this recording about 2 days ago when this released, and this was a picture that the DOJ took when they executed the raid on his house. And so all of this stuff that you see here, these are the worst things that they found, okay? And so it's like they did like a drug bust where they showed off a lot of the stuff that they got, right? So this is this right here, this document, top secret SCI. This is the top secret document here. They're secret SCI, once again, like crazy top secret documents that contain like all manner of like wild shit. Yeah, and just cartons. They were just laying around in these sort of like moving cartons, right? And we'll talk about that here in a moment as well. What is this? Certain of these documents had cover sheets indicating their classification status. So there's no possible way that he could have not understood what was going on here. The shown below is from Trump's personal office in Mar-a-Lago, but the photograph doesn't appear to have been taken there. Consider in detail on the lower left in the photo, there are 3 distinguishing elements on the floor. They're trying to figure out exactly where they took that photo. Terrible the way the FBI during the raid on Mar-a-Lago threw documents haphazardly over the floor, perhaps pretending it was me who did it, and started taking pictures of them for the public to see. Thought they wanted to keep them secret. Luckily, I declassified. So these documents were not declassified, okay? Trump's like, thankfully for me, I saved the day. Once again, good guy Trump. The do nothing loser FBI tried to it was me. Tried to like fucking say that he saved the day from the loser FBI who just haphazardly throw documents around. You know, maybe they're even wiping their ass with them. It's sad. It's sad to see. It's sad to see. Sad to see. So here are all the levels of things that they found. So this is confidential. So this is just secret. This is very secret. And this is very, very secret. And this is the most secret of secret can be. All right. Nothing is more secret than this. It's very weird. It's very curious. And then Fox News brought on another Trump lawyer. I love how he hires women. Trump, well-known enjoyer of women. He just like me, for real. Yikes, crackers. The FBI did bring crackers to the raid on Mar-a-Lago. That is true. They did have crackers, and the crackers did what the crackers do best. They cracked his safe. And so they wanted to bring his lawyer on to talk about what they found. Remember how they said that there was nothing left in Mar-a-Lago?
I have never, ever seen that. That is not the way his office looks. Anybody that knows President Trump's office, he has guests frequently there. It is it's just a joke. They literally must have gone in and taken out documents they wanted, or cover letters as it is, and put it about so that the public believes that this is top secret documents that were on his floor. It's ridiculous. I can tell you personally, it's ridiculous. I've never seen that. I've
never seen this. I have no clue what's happening. What's going on? Nobody told me this was real. Now, they may have not been sloppily just thrown on the floor, but Donald Trump tells you exactly where they found them. We don't even have to wait for the FBI to say where they found them, because Trump tells you where they found them, okay? There seems to be confusion about the picture. Why is picture in quotes? Does he think that it's a fake picture? Does he think that they made it in fucking Blender or something? Where documents are sloppily thrown on the floor and then released photographically for the world to see. If that's the FBI found them, broke into my home. They took them out of cartons and spread them around the carpet, making it look like a big find for them. They dropped them, not me. Very deceiving, remember? We could have no representative, including lawyers, present during the raid. They were told to wait outside. Now, remember this picture? This thing, like right here? This is where the nation's like top secret shit was sitting in. Just with like fucking magazines, Times covers, like crazy. Literally clothes and fucking underwear. I'm not lying to you. They found documents in his desk. They found documents in like boxes under like his like used clothes. They were just strewn about the house. It was insanity. It was just like the nation's secrets just like hanging off the walls. Secret fancies. Now, with that being said, we've been talking a lot about how important it is to know what was in those documents, right? To know exactly what he took, to do a damage assessment, to know what kind of damage could have been done to our sister nations, the entire West intelligence apparatus, the damage that could have been done by those documents being in the wrong hands, right? And we've been talking a lot about what was in those documents and what was going on with them. But what's even scarier, that was released today, a couple hours before this stream started, was we found out something that it wasn't what the FBI is no longer worried about what they found in the documents. They're worried about what they didn't, because a lot of these folders that you're seeing, because what you're seeing, you're not looking at the actual pages, you're looking at the folders that the pages come in. A lot of them were empty. 43, if I remember correctly, were empty. Just Why? Remember top secret SCI? This is empty. Some of these, empty. Just the cover letters that you see, these ones had to be blanked out because this is the actual papers. A lot of these are just empty. So top secret, nuclear positions, spy names, intelligence agency stuff, all gone. Oh, we're dead. Just gone. Where could they be? I don't know. Nobody knows, actually. In the 7 boxes taken from the office, there were 3 documents marked confidential, 17 marked top secret, 1,400 government documents and photos with no classification, 43 empty folders with classification banners, 28 were labeled return to staff, secretary, and military aid. So this was supposed to go back to the military. So there are secrets about our military that are just gone. Gone. Also, the boxes there were 99 magazines, newspapers, and press clippings that were there. In the 26 boxes removed from the storage room, there are 26 marked confidential, 11 top secret, 34 marked compartmentalized, 9,000 government documents and photos, and 5 empty folders with classified banners. 14 folders were labeled return to the Secretary of Military Aid. Also, the boxes, there were hundreds of news articles, clothings, gifts, and books. So, as I said, he just had like clothes, random garbage, knickknacks, and with the world's most secretive, dangerous material. And now it's just gone. And they don't know where they are. They don't know what he did with them. And they have no clue where to even begin to look. 27 documents with classified and top secret markings were recovered from Trump's office at Mar-a-Lago. 8-page inventory with 10,000 government documents removed in their search includes locations when each item was found. Among the boxes were 48 empty folders with classified banners. Those empty folders could be a particular concern of the national intelligence assets and the risk to national security that could result from disclosure of the seized materials, because it would be difficult to determine what information might have been inside and where it is now. So the problem is, not only does the FBI not necessarily know where those documents are, they're not even necessarily sure what it could have been. So it could have been anything from drone footage to nuclear positions. It's anything to things that help our like national intelligence and world intelligence like stay afloat. Okay? Those types of things are missing, okay? And his lawyers keep making things worse for him. His lawyers at this point, I think they may even be trying to put him in jail, because now that we know this, listen to this last clip from Trump's lawyer and tell me if you hear something very curious.
He has guests frequently there.
Did you hear that?
President Trump's office. He has guests frequently there.
All of these documents were found in Trump's office. He has guests that are frequently there. People moving in and out of the office with just top secret documents just laying around in his office. And wouldn't you know it, out of nowhere, for whatever reason, 43 top secret documents just poof, vanish, disappear. He did have a couple of meetings with the Saudi crown who were in his office. That is true. Other foreign governments that were in his office. It's possible. Worst case scenario for what happened. All right. Let me tell you this. Worst case scenario is that Trump brought over foreign diplomats to Mar-a-Lago and sold information to them, to the highest bidder, to pay down taxes, legal fees, things along those lines. That is the worst possible scenario. And so he was sitting on some of these, and some he felt like he could give away, when in like the back rooms they were having like little talks, and he was like, sure, fine. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Here, have some of these. And then they were just gone. Second worst case scenario is that he brought people over and he didn't want them to have them, but while he had his back turned, they just yoinked top secret information that was just sitting in his like suit jacket in like cartons laying around his office. Third worst thing that happened is that he literally just misplaced And anyone could have them now. The world's most secret documents to the world's most powerful country. Gone. Anyone could have them. An old staffer, Trump Jr., fucking Barron. Anyone could have them. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's happening. And all of this because Trump didn't want to give away these documents. Maybe if he would have complied before, these wouldn't have just been poof gone. I don't know. I don't know when they went missing. Nobody knows. But genuinely, I'm not lying to you. This is scary. Because some of these documents literally pertain to not just, even if you don't care about America, they pertain to other countries and their national security. You're putting it right now. We have known that Trump has put in the danger, the lives possibly, of 1 billion people plus because he's stupid. I don't know how else to like tell you this, but I wasn't even expecting this from Trump. I think horribly low of Trump. I wasn't even expecting this to come from Trump. This is insanity. And the people who are closer to him, they can't even begin to start to defend him after this came out. Here's Bill Barr on his opinion of Trump after this happened.
I frankly am skeptical of this claim that I declassified everything, because frankly, I think it's highly improbable. And second, if in fact he sort of stood over scores of boxes, not really knowing what was in them, and said, I hereby declassify everything in here, that would be such an abuse and shows such recklessness that it's almost worse than taking the documents.
To that point, though, there's some questions over the timeline. And there are some who fall in the camp of this was, looking at the unprecedented nature of a raid of a former president's home like this, that perhaps there was more room for the authorities to obtain these materials without raiding the president's home while he was not even there. Do you think this type of this raid was avoidable? Do you think a second subpoena?
Why does the guy in the middle look so sad? So this is Bill Barr, Trump's last and most prominent acting attorney general, except for the acting attorney general that he had that was accused of sexually harassing and sexually assaulting minors. After that guy, there's this guy, Bill Barr, who did his best to do Trump's bidding while in office. He looks like he's melting. Yeah, like the demon inside of him, his soul is slowly being taken back after he sold it to the devil.
For example, could have been issued.
Well, I think whether the raid was reasonable under the circumstances, whether there's in fact a case to be made, and whether or not, as a matter of prudential judgment, that case should be brought depend on two questions. The character of those top secret documents and secret documents, how sensitive were they? Second, how raw is the evidence of deceit and obstruction? Do they have really good evidence from people who were involved of
What do you
deceit?
think the answer to that is?
I personally think for them to have taken things to the current point, they probably have pretty good evidence, but that's speculation. And until we see that, it's hard to say. Now, let me just say, I think the driver on this from the beginning was loads of classified information sitting in Mar-a-Lago. People say this was unprecedented. Well, it's also unprecedented for a president to take all this classified information and put him in a country club. Okay.
Good Lord. Even his inner circle can't even begin to defend him with the type of stuff that he's gotten up to. This guy is, I don't even know how much more to say it. This guy is fucked. And honestly, we may all be fucked too. I mean, I like genuinely, when I saw this, I was not expecting this part to happen. I didn't even think about how the documents were just gone, how they disappeared. And this is not even saying whether or not the FBI got back some of the documents that they were even looking for. Some documents, they may have just found the folders, but they don't know where other ones could be. We're not sure. Trump is screwed. And he's screwing over the country and the world possibly for what reason? For what reason? Why did he have these? Now it could be once again that he was trying to sell them. He's incompetent. He didn't want to let go. Maybe he wanted to have some leverage over the government, even to feel like if worse comes to worse, he could try to bribe the government into letting him be president again. I have no clue. Nobody knows, and that's really scary. The reason is that it's funny. It's funny. Sure. Trump, why did you steal all of those documents? It's funny. It's a haha. This isn't good.